Okay, so this is the second video for this week. Um, and I just want to go over a few more things. We just finished talking about the portfolio handout and some of the stuff you guys need to do on Monday. But I figured I would go over the example portfolio. This is a really good basic example of what a portfolio can and should look like. So this person used, well, Mitch used Google Sites and has used a pretty like basic format here. It's easy to navigate and basically like this tells you what each page should look like if you want to follow this kind of example, right? So you'll see, right, it literally explains like what your home page should look like, what kind of information to include there, right? And Mitch has set up an MLA citation um, section here that kind of like tells you guys a little bit about how to use that for images and different things that you're going to include, right? And here's project one, and it would have project one as well as the project one reflection here, right? Same thing with project two, right? And he has included media labs as well. So if you end up doing a media lab during the class, you can upload those here in this specific way, along with your written reflection. I think that it really depends on what direction the class goes, but we may not be using media labs unless you really want to. And then you'll have like project three and your project three reflection. And then this is how Mitch has included the learning outcomes. And so you'd have, those are the student learning outcomes, the SLOs that we went over with the template, or not the template, sorry, the handout for the portfolio, right? And so you have outcome A, B, C, D, and it goes through the different SLOs, right? So for each of those sections, you'd have a paragraph that kind of explains how you engaged with, right, outcome D, outcome H, whichever one it is, over the course of the semester and the kinds of experiences you had with that SLO. You don't have to do it in this specific way. This is a pretty clean and easy way to do it. But I've had students come up with all kinds of different ways of putting these together, and it's been really cool to see the different sorts of formats and stuff that people come up with. Okay. So here's Mitch with his adorable dog Maple. So cool. So take a look at this example. Again, this is a really good like sort of template for a portfolio that I encourage you guys to be familiar with and then make changes based off of like what you yourself want to do and how you want your portfolio to look. Okay, so right here are a couple more. These are student sample portfolios, and take a look at those as well. I'm gonna go back up a little bit here. And hold on, where are we at? Create a website. Da, da, da. I think you guys got it. Yeah, let's go over the genre analysis handout really quickly, and then we will be done with videos for the time being. So project one is going to be your first like major writing assignment for the class, and we will have gone through two like smaller writing assignments by the time we get there. And then either of those smaller writing assignments, which will only be like 250 words. I have to change this due date, by the way. This is, wait, how did we end up here? Okay. Project one. My computer might be doing something weird, guys. And it is. Okay. Hey guys, so I managed to get this thing to open correctly finally, and it should be good to go for you guys by tomorrow. But your draft is going to be due on the 18th, right? We'll do a peer review, and then the final will be due on the 25th. So we have quite some time before we even have to really worry about this, but I wanted you guys to be thinking forward to where you're going, right? So The purpose of this assignment is to develop a better understanding of professional and commercial texts used in real life settings. When I say texts, that really isn't just like written text. That can be print ads, video ads, um, like actually like auditory ads. It can be all kinds of different stuff. So kind of think broadly for this. Um, and what you're going to be doing is analyzing a specific text within the context of a larger genre, right? So if you're analyzing um, a an advertisement for like a video game, right? You're going to be thinking about like how effective it is compared to other ads for video games, and not just other video games, but specific types of video games. So like if it's a horror video game, you would want to look at ads for other horror video games and then kind of analyze like how effective is this ad um, in this specific genre, right? And how is it using specific sorts of like conventions of these types of ads, not only to tell the viewers what they're looking at, but to give them some sense of like why they should buy this game or why they shouldn't, right? Um, so yeah, right. Like we'll be looking at a few different types of ads before we even get to the point where we're going to be writing this paper. So you guys will have a much better like idea of how to analyze things within a specific genre. But right, just go ahead and like think very, very broadly, right? And so this says use all the resources available, right? Search engines, UNM library, database, class documents, whatever, to choose a text that you're likely to see. Or one that you're possibly like something that you would create in your own field of study, right? Or a field you're interested in. So this is very, very broad. Again, it can be like a pamphlet for the nursing program, or it could be uh, a short ad that you would see on like YouTube or something for a specific flea collar. It could be anything, right? Just when you choose your specific text that you want to analyze, think about not just whether or not like you like that text, but how it fits into a larger sort of genre or like constellation of similar texts, similar advertisements, whatever, that are doing a specific thing, right? Um, so, and then what you're going to be doing basically is showing that you can see how it compares to other texts in that genre, and that you were actually able to identify and analyze the types of genre conventions that go along with different fields and how those are applying to one specific text or many. Um, so the technical details here are, right, you're going to provide an overview of context. So like where would this document appear and why? How might somebody run into it? Right? Are they going to see it on YouTube? Or are they going to see it on cable TV? Or are they going to see it in their junk mail? Right? How does someone going to encounter this specific text? What is the genre and or subgenre? And what are the conventions of that genre? Right? And then, uh, right, which aspects of the document are evidence that it belongs to this genre? Right? So be very clear about like, okay, this is an advertisement for uh um for well, it doesn't even have to be an advertisement, but like I'm going to go with advertisements because they're really easy to analyze. Or say like, okay, this is an advertisement for women, and I know that because advertisements with women have floral patterns, pink stuff, and cursive, right? And you can see that over and over again. And it doesn't mean that women like floral patterns, pink stuff, or cursive, but it means that like these are things that we as a society have associated with femininity and feminine interests. And so advertisers use those things to signal like, hey, this is for this specific audience. This is who I'm talking to right here. Right? So like even though I don't really like pink, if I see an advertisement with pink, I know that it's something that is potentially being um like more than likely being targeted toward me as a consumer, right? So think again, who's the intended audience, right? How can you tell who the intended audience is? How do you make that distinction? What is the purpose of this text, right? Is it trying to sell something? Um, is it trying to get you to like take on a specific belief or idea or a stance, right? How is it formatted? What kind of formatting structure is it using? Um, and then like describe the different parts of the document. Um, is it and how effective those different parts are, right? So basically that's it. And again, we're going to talk about this more and more, like a lot before we get to that point, and you're going to do like a couple like miniature versions of this assignment, so you'll have a pretty good idea of what you're doing by the time we get there. But that is the genre analysis and the kind of stuff that I want you to be thinking toward right now, and sort of like thinking about what you might want to write about ahead of time. Um, da, 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 do save. Okay, so I'm going to upload that here for you guys, so it'll actually show up. And think I think that's everything that you need to know for week 2. Um, I will be available by Remind. Remind is the best way to get a hold of me if you have questions. You can also email me. Course messages is also okay. If you have trouble, like before Friday, I would try to get in. If you haven't already, try to get into writing today and make sure you can actually get into your reading. Okay, because we need as much time as possible to like get through the technical issues there, if you have technical issues. And that's it.